Yeah.
Hi, folks in class.
That's close up, Sabrina. Sorry.
Don't do that.
Imagine that you're young and in love. You recently became engaged to the love of your life. Your mind is filled with thoughts of your life together, the home you'll one day own together, your kids. You're driving one day to meet your parents who have just recently set up a wedding planner meeting, and you're excited. You're thinking, you know, finally we get to take the next step. We're going to make our dreams come true. You stop at a stoplight and you're chatting with your fiance about your new life together, and bam, everything goes black. You wake up in the hospital seemingly minutes later, and you realize that your fiance was killed by a semi-driver. Why? You ask. What happened? It's because of this. A similar accident occurred in Davenport, Florida on January 3rd, 2008. Jennifer L. Hurd and her fiance, Patrick Richardson, were killed when they were struck by a semi-driver that was sending a text message while driving. Now, for those of you that are in the now and are up with technology, obviously a lot of people have cell phones nowadays. Texting while driving has become a pretty serious issue with everybody in their fast-paced lives and all of the stress that we go through on a daily basis. But here are some statistics on why texting while driving is so dangerous. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, distracted driving actually falls into 3 different categories. There's visual, which basically means you're taking your eyes off the road. There's manual, which means you're taking your hands off the wheel. And there's cognitive, which means that you are distracted enough to be thinking about something else other than driving. Texting while driving is so alarmingly dangerous because it involves all 3 of these types of distractions. You're taking your eyes off the road when you're reading or typing a message. You're taking your hand or your hands off the wheel while you're typing. You're not thinking about driving while you're reading a message. You're thinking about the message or what you're typing. So this is why texting while driving is extremely dangerous. Here are some more just distracted driving statistics in general. Statistically, distracted driving actually reduces the amount of brain activity devoted to driving by up to 37%. In 2008, over 6,000 accidents could be attributed to distracted driving. Obviously, we don't really have to state this, but obviously younger, more inexperienced drivers, usually under the age of 20, are more prone to accidents as a result of distracted driving. Handheld devices, that's another thing. People using handheld devices while driving, whether it be a laptop, cell phone, are more prone to cause a fatal accident by up to 4 times. Also, this is an alarming statistic. It's the same as being drunk. Statistically, while you're driving, you take your eyes off the road for up to 6 seconds at a time. Your distraction is the equivalent of having a blood alcohol level of 0.08, so being legally drunk. Here is a study by Car and Driver magazine. Actually, this was reported by CNET magazine, in which 2 drivers were put in a situation, in a field test, where they had to illustrate their ability to stop their vehicle under certain conditions of impairment. The conditions of impairment were driving while intoxicated, driving while reading a text, and driving while sending a text. Now, these two drivers, they were Jordan Brown, who was an intern for the magazine, and Eddie Alterman, who was the senior editor. Now, Jordan Brown was a younger guy, 22. At 35 miles per hour, drunk, he was able to stop his vehicle 7 seconds later. So it took him an extra 7 seconds to stop his vehicle while drunk. While reading a text message, it took him, that was 7 feet. It took him an additional 21 feet while reading a text message. While typing, an additional 16 feet of stopping distance. At 70 miles per hour, when he was drunk, it took him 15 extra feet. While reading a text message, 30 extra feet. And while typing a text message, it took him 31 extra feet to stop. Now, Eddie Alterman, age 37, obviously not as good at texting, evidently. His statistics are a little bit more staggering. While drunk, same as the younger guy, 7 feet. It took him 7 feet to stop at 35 miles per hour. While reading a text message, it took him an additional 188 feet to stop. And while typing, it took him an additional 90 feet to stop. At 70 miles per hour while drunk, 17 feet. While reading a text message, 129 feet. And while typing, 319 additional feet.
Wow.
At 70 miles per hour. You can imagine what kind of damage that would cause if you hit someone going 70. Now, the statistics obviously should pretty much speak for themselves, but in case you need further convincing, here are some headlines in regard to some accidents that occurred that really had an impact on some people's lives. In San Antonio, Texas, a bus driver rear-ended an SUV that was stopped in traffic. This was actually caught on videotape that the driver was texting while driving. In Florida, a student was killed when a semi-driver rear-ended a school bus, also texting while driving. He claims he was texting his girlfriend. In Boston, a trolley conductor runs a red light and runs into the back of another trolley, actually injuring 49 people. In Los Angeles, California, a commuter train failed to stop at a red signal, killed 25 people, injured another 135 people, all because the conductor was also texting his girlfriend. The last one in Rochester, New York, 5 teenage girls were killed in a head-on collision because the driver of their vehicle was texting, sending a text message. Now we come to personal responsibility. Basically, my take on this is that, granted, 14 states right now are actually enacting supposed bans on text messaging. I'm not here to persuade you to vote for the ban or to persuade your local legislators to vote for that ban. What I'm here to persuade you to do is take some personal responsibility of your own. Basically, the way I feel is that if we take some personal responsibility for our own actions, then there's no need to create laws to allow Big Brother to step in and take personal responsibility for us. It still accomplishes the same goal, but we're in control. So my solutions, it's pretty obvious. If you absolutely have to communicate on your phone, find a safe place to pull over. Don't do it on the road. Or, as an alternative, here's the even safer alternative. Wait till you get to your destination. Also, here's another thing a lot of people don't realize. It may not necessarily be your fault. You may not be the one texting and driving. You need to keep an eye out for other people that are doing it also. And bottom line here is put the darn thing away and just drive. So, in conclusion, I'd like to say, hopefully that I've outlined why texting and driving are so dangerous, why there's a need to be safe, and to keep your eyes on the road. And like I said, please, I beg you, don't text and drive. Put the phone away, just drive. Thank you.